Hi everyone, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra. We are here at beautiful Ben Avery. It's a live range. It's a Saturday. We are also under the flight line for a very busy airport, so it might get a little bit loud. But today we want to continue to talk about the shooting standards of the officer-involved shooting out of Las Vegas on the channel. Newbold Targets is now Throom. Throom targets are lightweight, weatherproof, take thousands of rounds of shooting and make shooting fun. Pick up a set for your next range trip. So we already had a video on the channel that was about the pistol shooting standards that we had in that shooting, and that's pretty significant. But standing right next to that officer with the RMR equipped pistol was an officer with the shotgun. They also had an officer who had less lethal available, but the biggest thing that we want to talk about now is there was an officer there with the shotgun. Now he was running a pump shotgun, what looked like to me to be an 870 iron-sighted old school. I ain't got one of those. Why? Because it's 2020 and it's stupid to run one of those when you can run a modern gun. This is, again, my 1301 tactical. It is set up for me the way that I run it. And so the two things that I said there, he was running slugs, Foster slugs in that gun, because at 20 yards, I think he was a little bit worried about his buckshot pattern. So we're gonna see, number one, can we hit with the slug a photorealistic target at around 20 yards in the time standards that the officer had to hit it? And number two, if we choose buckshot instead, have we patterned our buckshot to know if we can get our hits? Got this guy set up. Now you guys know, you've seen me use this shotgun quite a bit. This is one of my favorite home defense tools. It is absolutely a fight stopper. When you shoot somebody with a shotgun and you hit them in the meaty bits, they lie down and stop doing whatever it was they were doing, right? You shoot somebody with a pistol, there's a good chance they continue to do whatever it was they were doing. You shoot them with a shotgun, they sit down and stop. That's the bottom line, and that's a very good thing. So we have two different loads here. So what you see here on the side is I have my home defense and duty load, which is Federal Flight Control 8 pellet double-aught buck. That is brass-plated buckshot, lead buckshot in the flight control wad, reduced recoil, 1,145 feet per second buckshot. It is fantabulous stuff, and I'll show you why in a minute. You've probably already seen it on the channel. But in the tube, what I have, slugs. So we have some Foster slugs. There's two types of slugs. This isn't a video about the types of slugs. There's Brennecke slugs and Foster slugs. The typical one that you're gonna see, they might get called rifled slugs. These are 1 ounce rifled Foster slugs. Now that doesn't mean that you use them in a rifled barrel. No, you don't use them in a rifled barrel. You use them in a smoothbore shotgun barrel. But the slug itself is supposed to have some things on it that makes it turn and this and that. Don't care about none of that. Can we hit that target at 20 yards with a slug in this gun? 1 ounce slug's got some recoil, friends. So here's what we do here. We let that go into the chamber, load this bad boy up. So the officer in the shooting on the channel took 2.75 seconds, which is a good long time from a ready position, which is what he was at. He also missed. Now, again, that subject is moving. It's real life stress. I'm not saying we can duplicate that. We really can't on the range. But so we're gonna say, hey, wait a minute, can we get that hit? We get a little bit of stress. Why? Because I'm gonna put this on the internet even if I suck at it. And so with 137,000 people watching, I'm gonna get to do this. Okay, fine. It's not the same level of stress, I'm not saying that, but can we get the hit? Well, I'm making my life a little easier already because I'm using a red dot sight. Why? Because it's 2020, and I would rather have a shotgun with a red dot sight on it than one with traditional iron sights. This one does have backup iron sights. It's got a Crom. This is, all Aridist up and all that stuff with the Rob Hot fast acquisition sights on it. But I don't use those. I use the red dot. Why? Put the dot on the target. Put the biscuit in the basket. Life is easy. Let's see how long it takes us to do that. We're gonna have 2.75 seconds off the beep. Whew, I was a little high there. That shotgun definitely went fast. Of course, that was a 1.42, right? So I got a decent push, 142. Now let's walk down and see where our hit was. This is the wad. This is the slug. You can see the fact that it's got a little bit of kind of the perforations around it. That's from the rifling on the slug. So this is the wad, ignore that. This is a slug. So I got a hit right at the top of the A-zone box that I want. Would have kind of hit her right on the collarbone or just under. I'm telling you, if you put a 1 ounce slug on somebody in the collarbone, they're gonna lay down and stop doing what they're doing. Let's try it again and see if it was a fluke. Oh. There it was. A little low that time because I had to take off my, and a little bit late because I had to take my safety off. Okay, fine. 178 on that shot. Again, not a bad shot. Let's take one more. It's a little lower than I wanted it. So in that particular instance, you can see the wad is lower and left. The actual slug itself is just below the 5-inch circle, would be fine in the 8-inch circle. Let's see if we can kind of split the difference between those two and get a shot where we want so that the internet stops telling me I'm stupid. That was not a bad shot right there. All right, guns locked open. That particular one was a 129, was the fastest shot that I've shot. Let's go down and take a look at them. So again, wad here, you can see, here's how you can kind of tell the difference. See how this one is smooth around the edges and this one has all the little perforations around the edges in a uniform pattern? That's how you actually tell which one's the slug. So that's the slug. Here we have, there's the slug, there's the wad. Here we have, here's the slug, here's the wad. So I'm all right around high center chest, and that's really what you want. Now, that being said, let's take a look at, and we're gonna slide over a target to do this. Can we get good hits with buckshot at this distance if we're properly stoked in the gun? Now, I have not gotten to talk to the officer who was involved in that shooting, who was on the shotgun, so I cannot tell you definitively why he decided for slugs over buckshot. My guess is either the Las Vegas Metro Police Department is all slugs in their shotgun, which is very possible, or he selected a slug because he felt like the distance was too far and he wasn't convinced he could keep all his buckshot in the target at 20 yards. Those are both good choices. I'm telling you right now, again, if I'm loading buckshot on my shotgun, it's Federal Flight Control 8-pellet double-aught buck. That's what I load, period, full stop, reduced recoil stuff. This stuff patterns like crazy, and at 20 yards, I think you'll see why when we get them on this target. And again, what we're gonna try to do is 2.75 seconds or less to get the hit that we want. So that was a 1.23. Let's just shoot a couple of more shots, and then that way we get a feel for where the buckshot's going overall. Two. That one was a 1.23 as well. Identical, huh? 3. All right, there's 3 shots. That last one was a 1.15. So we're compressing it down to about half of what the officer involved was doing. Let's go down and take a look. Okay, so we have some of the wads out here, and again, that's the wad. So here at this kind of distance, it does get out of the wad, but what you'll notice here is you have all 24 pellets all inside of, really, with the exception of one shot. So I shot this one up here, and most of those pellets, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and probably a 16th there. Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's 2 shots. Then what we have here is we have probably 7 pellets still inside the wad here, or the wad passed through the same place, and then an 8th. So if you properly load a shotgun at 20 yards, you shouldn't have any problem with those kind of shots with the Federal Flight Control in this 1301 barrel, which is backbored slightly. And so you could leave the buckshot in there if you have it available to you. The slugs work great too. So can we hit those standards? I think we can. Does it take some work? As you can see, it does take some work. You got to be able to run a shotgun, get some push-pull on it, those kinds of things. But I think if you do, you can have some success. Get out to the range, guys, and try this one. With the house howitzer, it's some work.